Well, hello, it's Wednesday, so it must be time for Woolly Hat's Wednesday Whip. And yes, I have had my haircut. See, not much left, which is great, because I can wear a scarf and it doesn't get all trapped. Anyway, I hope you've had a good week. I've been very busy. What have I been doing? I went on a chainsaw course at the weekend, so I can chop down trees in my wood. Fortunately, I didn't chop up any of my fingers, so I can still knit and crochet. And I have been doing quite a lot of that as well. So, I think last week or the week before, I told you about the baby blanket that I'm going to be making for our friend's baby. So I've been doing lots and lots of squares. Yay! So I'm going to have a row of red squares and a row of white squares. So you can see that the squares have got circles in, and they're going to be animals. So the orange coloured one is going to be a tiger. Look at that. And then the black one, I haven't done that one, they're going to be cats. And the reason for that is the baby will be born in the year of the tiger, and the baby's father is a fan of Sunderland Football Club, which has a mascot of a cat. So there we go. So the squares are quite simple, just going around in circles, and then you turn it into a square just using treble. And just in two colours, so there's not too many ends, but these are quite fiddly. So thankfully I'm not putting animals on all the squares, just every other square, but I do like the effect though. So a lovely little tiger with his little ears. So there you go. So I've done quite well, and the baby will be born in November, so it might not be that late in delivery. Depends how quickly I can create animals, so that's that. So I also showed you that I bought some really nice wool from Ewe and Ply, which is a very nice yarn shop in Oswestry. They also have a shop in Shrewsbury now, so I need to go and see that, don't I, to check and report back on quality. So this is their sock yarn called Leg Ends, and it's 100% British Blue Faced Leicester. And Blue Faced Leicester is quite strong, a bit like merino, and it's got good stitch definition, and so they don't put any nylon in their sock yarn, and I've had some before and it has lasted quite well, so I'm quite pleased with that. So I bought this for Mr. W for his birthday, and I've started making him a sock. So there you are. So I'm doing it top down, so there's the cuff down. So the cuff is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, which is Blue Faced Leicester as well, but with a bit of nylon. And this is how it's coming out, which I think is quite nice. So I'm just doing ribber 3 knit and 3 purl, so 60 stitches all the way around, with a nice thumb method cast on, so it's stretchy, it doesn't stop the circulation. So I think those colours are rather nice. I shall tell you what it says on the label. So it's the shade is Down by the Sea. I think we can see that. So there's a bit of orange for the sand and blue for the sea and green for the edge. And it's spun by Laxton's. There we go. What else? There says something else here. Hand dyed with humour. There you go. So I think the girls at Ewe and Ply dye it, but it's spun somewhere else. But I'm rather liking that. So there we go. So there is a sock from Mr. W. That's coming quite well. So there, and this is a sock. This is what it's based on. So again, it's going to have a rib there of 3 and 3, but I'm doing a separate cuff and collar and cuff and heel and toe. So this is one I did for Mr. W a few years ago. It's West Yorkshire Spinners, one of their Christmas yarns, which are really nice. So that was my projects, and of course I've been preparing for my classes, and tonight we're doing hats made of trebles. So I've been preparing for that, and then we've got a general session, another crochet session yesterday, and a general session on Thursday evening if anybody wants to join us at 7 o'clock. So there you go. So yes, I'm wearing a different jumper today because it's time to wear lots of different jumpers, even though it's quite mild in the sun, but it's a bit windy and it's a bit rainy today. But anyway, so this is it's an Icelandic jumper, and this is Lopi yarn. It's not the thick stuff that you get. It's more of the Aran weight rather than a chunky weight, and I got it in Iceland when I went several years ago. I actually bought the yarn to make Mr. W a jumper, but when I knitted it, he thought it was a bit snug for him, so I had it instead. That's rather nice. So it's really, really nice. So you knit from the bottom, and then you knit the sleeves from the bottom, and then you join it all together with a big circular needle and do a lovely Fair Isle top at the top, and then finish off. So it was a joy to knit and a joy to wear, and I shall be wearing it for the rest of the day probably. So that's all for me this week. I hope you're having a good week. Please share what you're up to, what you're knitting and sewing and crocheting and whatever, and I will see you next week. Bye.